author of Too Big to Fail. And joining the table, the Republican governor of Texas, Governor Rick Perry. Governor Perry's new book is Fed Up, Our Fight to Save America from Washington. And John Meacham.
Which it's interesting because John Meacham's last presidential book was called Fed Up, too. So he stole the title from
was. Well, if it weren't for Tennessee and Andrew Jackson, y'all would still be part of Mexico.
Texas. That's right.
Oh, here we go again. Yeah, it always goes back to Chattanooga.
Everything does.
And we're always happy to give them credit.
All right, Governor. So if you want to know people want to put this in perspective, how much things have changed over the past year. A year ago, Bill White, I guess, jumps into the race, and we hear this is going to be competitive. And you spent the last 6 weeks of your campaign golfing and and going through your stamp collection, and you still won by 13 points.
You've obviously not done your homework.
Well, I try not to.
My golf is done out on a shooting range.
Oh, okay, very good. So, but a big night for you.
It was.
A huge night for Republicans, and of course, everybody's focusing on the House and the Senate in Washington. But I think the most shocking story is what's happened state by state by state in legislatures across America. Over 650 seats changed hands on state legislatures, more than ever before.
Yeah, a lot of people fed up.
Yeah, you know what? There's a great book
It's
called
funny you should say that.
And we're going to talk about that right after news. All right, let's go to news.
Good answer. Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell defending his previous statement that defeating Obama in 2012 is his top priority. Here's what he told the Heritage Foundation yesterday.
Delicate of me to suggest that our top political priority over the next 2 years should be to deny President Obama a second term. But the fact is, if our primary legislative goals are to repeal and replace the health spending bill, to end the bailouts, cut spending, and shrink the size and scope of government, the only way to do all of those things is to put someone in the White House who won't veto any of these things.
Mm-hmm. You know,
isn't that okay?
Here's the thing. Mitch McConnell, like Harry Reid, are two guys that you look at and you say, well, God, how would they ever get to be the leaders of their parties in the Senate? Well, it's because they know how to operate behind the scenes. They're not as good in front of cameras. I mean, that was a major faux pas. That's not the lead statement you want coming out, but he will know how to collect the vote. I mean, it's different being a governor or being a president than it is
governors can make misstatements too.
We all do. So can congressmen and talk show hosts. But you would agree that the Senate needs to do more than that. We've got big items on the agenda.
The things that he said are appropriate. There's a lot of work that has to be done before you can stand up in front of the American people and say, we need to change presidents now because of this. Well, that may already be out there, but the fact is the Republicans have to perform, and they have to go in there and do what they said they were going to do. That's going to be the goal.
I have a messaging question for you. You talk about smaller government, less spending, and yet when you heard Mitch McConnell and earlier we've heard that there's so much focus still on the repeal of the health care bill. Yeah. And I'm curious whether you think ultimately that's going to actually turn out to be a distraction for the Republicans in the same way that it turned to be a distraction, frankly, for the Democrats.
Let me tell you why it's not a distraction for governors. That bill, the way that it's written today, costs Texas, over and above what we're paying right now for health care, $27 billion, $2.7 billion more every year. So that's a budget issue, a big budget issue for us. So repealing the health care bill is a big issue for the states, or it is for Texas, and I got to suggest it is for any governor who's going to be absorbed in that.
Well, it's put up or shut up time. Republicans who railed against health care reform during the campaign, well, they better watch out. One House Democrat is calling them out for their hypocrisy. He's daring them to walk the walk and turn down their own taxpayer-funded health care benefits. Congressman Joe Crowley wrote this stinging letter to the incoming House Speaker John Boehner. If your conference wants to deny millions of Americans affordable health care, your members should walk the walk. You cannot enroll in the very kind of coverage that you want for yourselves and then turn around and deny it to Americans who don't happen to be members of Congress. We look forward to your response in the coming days about exactly how many of the members in the Republican conference will be declining their taxpayer-supported health benefits.